magic of cinema. Okay, this I love this time lapse stuff. This is something I saw them reviewing it in their little producer room while we were shooting, and I got really excited about it. These initial shots, the selection of them really appeals to me because, like this, for example, that looks like Europe to me, and I don't know what it is about it, but it just does, and it's not trying to look like Europe, but there's something about the simplicity of it that it's not overstating Vancouver. And I've seen a number of series that are set in Vancouver that try so hard to sell Vancouver as something specific, but this is the Vancouver I know, just simple West End. You know, an apartment is an apartment is an apartment. And I like the inclusion of the photograph of the two sisters at the top, the Dubois sisters. That's not something I shot or that I remember being in the script. This shot I don't like because I think I could have done so much better a job. Just the reveal of from the tombstones, and you don't know it. I want it to be dislocating, like, you know, you're in a graveyard somewhere, and then suddenly there's these weird shoes going back and forth from foot to foot. I had John do that intentionally so that he would match up in the wide shots and the close-up. Just give him a little bit of movement so that your eye goes to him in the very wide shot. Keep everyone really still, and then just have John Cassini playing Yuri, shifting from foot to foot. This scene, I had cut it in my director's cut quite differently than this. I spent a lot of time on this wide shot. I spent most of the scene on it, but much prefer the way it's done here.
No, not really.
Well, I'm sure he'd rather be
favoring
alone.
the close-ups more, and just
He's not coming
the
for
look
dinner.
on his face. That right there reveals so much without revealing anything. It's a great acting thing of, you know, keeping it's you know, the eyes being the gateway to the soul, and that, you know, without even saying anything, they express so much under the surface. This is I think the best looking scene in the episode. When we were shooting it, I kept going to the lighting guys. La luce, la luce. I walked in, it was so gorgeous right away. It looks like cinema to me, this scene. And my favorite shot is coming up. It's after Yuri, well, two of my favorite shots, after Yuri starts dancing here. And John was just winging it on his own. We did several takes and just let him play. And he's so great when you give him a little rope. This shot's great. And here it comes. This shot right here, my favorite shot in the episode. And I think it was, I don't even think I came up with it. I think one of the camera guys suggested it the following morning. This is the dripping ceiling. Originally, the stain was supposed to be in the shape of like a hand giving the finger to him, and which is kind of a funny in-joke, but very difficult to sell, and it didn't ultimately work. As if the building itself was giving him the finger, the spirit of the Dubois, as ghosts were giving him the finger.
Who are you? I'm the new owner. Who the hell are you? Yuri.
That's great.
You fixed this?
Not sure himself.
Oh, well,
And this is a very
I did the
difficult
best
scene
I
to
could.
maneuver partly because of the space and the way I wanted to have these two guys. When I directed it, I wanted Terry David Mulligan to keep his back to Yuri as much as possible, so that Yuri was doing all the work in the scene, and on thin ice. But I had to organize this crossover so that the axis gets broken. Terry David's about to do it because the space was so difficult to work in, and I wasn't sure. I lost some sleep over the scene because I wasn't sure it would ever work. Here comes the crossover. There it is, right there. It's really tricky to cut those two things together.
What's not
And
to
this is one of the first scenes in that we shot in the schedule, and I was very nervous at this point, and I hadn't settled into my groove yet, and so I way overcovered it, and we ended up doing it basically in a shot.
Oh, yeah, sure. Right. I mean, what with your hard work, your dedication, your way with people. Your way with people.
This is great watching two very solid professional actors like this play off each other. Just John.
Your punctuality.
You're kidding, right?
Lovely.
We called you for that toilet a month ago.
I was backed up a month ago.
Yeah, well, so was
That's
our
that
toilet.
camera move. I don't even know
Called
why I
the
did it.
plumber, came the same day.
It's
Okay,
bothered
then.
me. Has always
How's
been.
your sink?
But there it
Anything
is,
stuck?
and it seems to work.
I'm here to help.
Not quite desperate yet, but the truth is sinking in.
Pretty
His
good,
days
huh?
are numbered.
No more dripping.
What do you want, a medal?
No. A cup of
I think
coffee
she's
might be
phenomenal.
nice.
There's something about her. She's a star. You just love watching her.
Dr. Carlisle.
Carlisle, you asked.
Hey, listen, if the building is sold, can I count on you for a reference?
Actually,
Scene feels a little bit, the rhythm's a bit off in the scene. I think I would have spent more time on it.
Works. Some of it's a bit out of date, but the gist
It,
remains the same.
it's like it's too quick for me or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, Furry, it's okay.
This is
Furry.
great because hamsters, of course,
okay.
don't make any noise at all.
Told who what?
But
Bobby, about us.
okay, in this scene, this was at the end of the day, one day, and I had no coverage. I just had the scene in the wide shot. It didn't work in the wide shot at all. I had something like 5 minutes left, and I just said, okay, put a longer lens on it. We'll go right in. We'll do profile close-ups, which you're never supposed to do in television, apparently. And I think it totally works. And it only works because of these profile close-ups.
Oh my God, it's his kendo.
Because there's so much nuance going on in that.
Holy shit.
And I think that's where the act break originally came, right there. And it's been shifted, but it's been shifted because they completely recut this chase scene after my director's cut, and I like that cut right there where it goes suddenly the other way. They came up with that. That wasn't me. And I think they did a really strong job here. The music's great too. Nice little hamster chirping.
Let me guess. You got a white belt?
This is good. It's a really interesting musical choice. I think this is really working. It's maybe not the way I would have gone, but it manages to keep the tone and yet be comic.
You quit now, college
Which
boy,
is-
and you won't get hurt.
It's another one of my favorite shots. That's what I remember when I think back on the cut, was Tobias's expression.
It's okay.
That's a big one. I think there could have been a little more low end in this. A little more of that real deep subterranean in the mix thunderous thing, but then you're always dealing with the little TV speakers anyway, so
Bobby?
it's a miracle that that stuff cuts together. We shot that on a completely different day in a completely different place. We just had a little cut out of the roof that we shot up through. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks
I
it
think I'm
works.
stuck.
There's the act break, which is in a different place, I think, than it was in the script. No, it wasn't, actually. No, that was the act break.
Oh dear, are you all right?
I don't know, I'm all jitterbuggery.
We better head outside in case there are aftershocks.
I love her expression here.
Bobby.
So good.
Can you get this shit off?
Go screw.
For Christ's sake. I think I'm injured.
No, I don't care.
Jesus.
This was John
me tell
got
you
something
how
in his
sorry
eye in this scene.
Hey,
We were actually
will you
shooting
stop
it.
that?
One of the things that
My
got thrown
marriage.
went right into his eye, and we had to pull him out of there. And he's in this huge rigging, and give him a break for about half an hour. And I actually thought we were gonna have to wrap for the day, but he's such a trooper. He got back in there,
Hey, no,
and
no,
we covered him
just
all up
kidding.
again
Okay,
and
seriously.
started throwing things at him
Seriously.
again. It was great.
Wasn't like that. Okay. She was drunk, and well.
This is
we were horny.
strictly by the storyboard. I spent a lot of time storyboarding the scene and getting it
not
just
horny,
right.
Confused. Yeah, we were confused. That's it. It was very confusing.
And then, of course, once you've got the storyboard, you get into the space and you're confronted with obstacles that you never anticipated, and
Hey, well, where are you going?
it becomes plain chess
You're
in
gonna
3
send
dimensions.
for help, right? I mean, you're not just gonna leave me lying here.
That's great. You hear that? They sold that with the sound effect.
Genius. The door.
The
It
impact
opens the other
of
way.
his shoulder works because of the sound.
What were you doing? You can't stay here.
It's one of those weird continuity things. Just the dust on her shoulders became a huge issue, and in her hair. And same thing with Tobias. You can see that how I wasn't sure if his hair looked like he'd had little touch-ups or if it actually looked like dust, and it was
This is why I have no
constant.
time for
While we were shooting,
You
it was
have no
such a
time
big
for
issue.
love Because you're unlovable. You're incapable of any human emotion.
Because I'm a man.
Because you're an asshole.
Sometimes I have to be perceived as an asshole to be effective in my job.
You think you're
And,
effective? You suck.
These are the
Take it you
the
wouldn't
key
give me a
emotional scenes. This is
reference
the sort of the heart of the episode here,
Dumper kid. You're young.
where Tobias's character
Someone
has
else
to
to
go
come along.
from basically hating this man who John plays and wanting
You
to
don't know
punish
anything
him
about us.
to forgiving him and actually feeling a little bit sorry for him.
Bobby, is that you? Are you in there?
And detailing that shift, I mean, it's a 180-degree swing, is so difficult, and we really worked on it, and I think Tobias does a great job of
I'll call for help.
doing it. See, here's the punishing.
After I get an apology.
Okay. Look, I am very sorry for stooping your wife. Now please, dial 911.
That
And of course, one thing that
was
John's
not
character Yuri can't do is apologize. It's actually a
sincere.
really well written series of scenes. Susan. Oh, and I'm really glad this shot was we almost didn't use this because he sort of looks like he's gonna fall over there, but it's just the timing and everything in this one shot, and sort of the, if you know the backstory of these two characters, and how one of them is trying to reach out to the other one right now, but he really has no reason to except that he's a human being. It's a very small scene, but it's delicately played. And both of these actors, again, like the entire cast, were a dream to work with.
Where are you going?
Stanley's office. I'll make sure
She's so great. Look at that. Oh, this is that first shot, the shot that just went by. That's a shot I can't stand, and I actually have nightmares about it. It
I'm hungry all the
doesn't look
time
right to
lately.
me. It's too compressed. There's a foliage in the
I know,
foreground.
I'm
It's like a
worried
point of
about
view
it.
shot. It's like there's a
He never
murder
worries
about to
about
happen
me.
or something, and
we watch and what do
it
we
just
try to
doesn't make sense. And that was one of those things on the day I wish I had actually
Men are idiots.
stopped, but I was so nervous about time that I pushed on and said, "Look, this just isn't working for me. We have to reset it." And I know it's going to take another hour, but it's worth it because I'll have nightmares about this shot.
I'm pregnant.
This is a tough one because it's a monologue.
big
and
brother,
monologues
Jake,
are really hard to
beat me up
pull
all the
off
time.
on.
So I saved up my
On
allowance and I
television.
started taking kendo classes.
So I tried to work in this
When my
reveal
brother found out,
so that he starts and you don't know where he is. He's just
Yeah, even
isolated in space, and then
I can hardly
it keeps
feel
it
my
visually
legs.
interesting to suddenly reveal that he's
I
sitting
kept
on
taking the
top of all
classes,
this
though.
crap on top of Yuri.
and
Not
Bobby,
sure if it's
she taught
as
her
effective as
exercise
it could have
class in
been.
the room right next door. I'd watch her class through the glass doors. I'd think to myself, someday some lucky bastard is gonna marry that girl.
Can you please do me a favor? Can you take that stick of yours and bash my brains in so I don't have to listen to this shit
Such a great
anymore?
line. I think that's a John line.
Oh,
This isn't shit. Okay, I'm talking about life, about
I always had
love.
problems with that. I don't think that
Love.
totally got sold. He doesn't look like to me like he's putting his full weight on
I'm
it,
gonna tell you a little story.
and
so pay attention, okay, Mr. Pollyanna?
like it's really actually doing any damage.
I'm 6. Well, my daddy takes me to the park, and I climb on top of one of those things, you know, those climbing
And this
things?
story is, of course, Yuri's big moment
But I'm too
in not
scared
just
to
the
come back
episode, I think,
down,
but
so
the whole
my
series
daddy
as a
says,
character,
"Jump."
or
I'll
yeah,
catch ya.
the season as a character.
So I jump, and, well, my daddy drops
Where we
his
don't
arms and
necessarily
steps aside,
learn to like him, but we
slam,
understand
I
him
hit the earth.
as he does.
So I'm, you know, spitting out dirt and bawling my eyes out. And my daddy, he comes up to me and he says, "Life lesson number 1, son. Don't expect no one to catch you when you fall." He's a great man, my dad.
The selection of the close-ups on Tobias was so important there,
That's love.
because it's really you're watching. Here's where he does the 180,
Willing to tell
and
you the truth,
or at least he does
even though
most of it. And he has to do it entirely wordlessly. And then here's what
Don't look at me
seals the
like that.
deal. This is nice, as we use long lenses, so you can see the background's completely blurry, and it really brings you into what's happening in the immediate foreground. Here's the shot again. I just hate actually, it's a different version of the other one. So I like being in the close-ups in this, or the medium close-ups with the background dropped out like that.
Holding the world. Give it away.
Holding the world. Give it away. Holding the world. Give it away.
So I haven't heard this soundtrack until now. I'm seeing this for the first time, and it's great. I'm working on another film right now, and one of the things I keep realizing is that the best music is always the sparsest music, when it's really simple and sparsely used. You know, just
she had nothing to gain
a
and everything to
jungle
lose.
drum rhythm or a couple of
she told
notes
you
like that
anyway.
on a piano.
She told you the truth, even though it could have ruined everything. I'm just saying.
Bobby.
Oh, there's a moment coming up with Gabrielle
Bobby.
where she
Bobby.
as the scene gets
How did you?
They wouldn't let us back in the building.
more touching and more touching, she suddenly has this comic moment, and it's that kind of change up. You see it in Denny Arcand's work all the time. I just love that. In the middle of a comic scene, suddenly getting dramatic, or in the middle of a super dramatic scene, suddenly getting comic. It's where she hears Yuri call out right here.
And I'm so sorry.
Coming up. I love that.
Just pretend I'm not here.
Yeah, there's a whole sequence there that got cut out for efficiency, but it's a little difficult because I don't know if we properly sell the amount of crap that they have to pull off them. I struggled over this too. It's so this hamster dies, and we got to make it not ridiculous.
It's just a
It's a really
superficial-
hard. That's a hard one to pull
Why
off.
don't you guys go ahead, and I'll come right after you.
I think it's sold
I'll
in the
hold the
act.
ladder for you. I won't let you fall.
Yeah, whatever. You're
This is one of those great things. It's an acting truism. It's more moving to see somebody trying not to cry than to see somebody who's crying. I think take 86 right here.
Hey,
Hey,
This pause that he takes,
how's the foot?
okay.
and then he just dismisses it. He came up with that in the read through.
What's gonna happen, I wonder?
Oh, that's great. That's great. I love the music.
I don't know.
John came up with that, and then he'd forgotten about it, and I had to remind him of it, and then he just nailed it in the actual performance. Cool.